Hello, it's day 62 of a screenwriter's journey. And before I show you anything and you start reading ahead and get ahead of me, so I think my problem was that this whole thing about what is this job that Holly has either been offered or given or has a chance to take. It was this some prisoner high profile fugitive something transfer in Miami, and I don't really know where I came up with that other than one of the things they do is transfer prisoners. So I said, oh, that'd be interesting. But it was more going to Miami maybe was more exciting than the actual, being part of a fugitive whatever transfer. So I asked my son, who has done some writing with me, some books, Spamly. Have I mentioned Spamly? Go on Amazon, search for my name and Spamly. If you've got kids or you are a kid, if you have grandkids, whatever, it's an awesome book for like 8 to 12-year-olds, something like that. Anyways, so we talked, and I don't know, I think he came up with this exact idea, or maybe it was just in general, but he said, what if someone reached out to her and specifically asked for her to do something? And so then the question became, what? I think that's how it went. And then I did maybe some research to see what else U.S. Marshals do. And one of them was providing sort of protection, not in a mob sort of way, but providing protection for Supreme Court justices, among other people. So the idea was, as you can read there now, that you can't anymore because I just moved it. But basically the idea was, and then I embellished this a little, is that way back when this happened, which you see I'm writing right now, and I'm doing some research there, is that the Supreme Court justice, and at the time she could have been something else, but she could have also been a Supreme Court justice at the time. And so I sort of finagled it around and experimented. But she had a part in this deal that sent Rachel to jail, but for a reduced sentence in exchange for the information she gave, blah, blah, blah. So she knew of Holly way back then. That's how I'm presenting it. And so now she's on the Supreme Court, or maybe, she already could have been. It's just 14, 15 years later, whatever. And she is, to some extent, she's kept up maybe with Holly's career, such as it is. She's only had the same job, but she liked the job she did. She was appreciative. She knows that she's a super hard worker. And so when a spot opens up on her security detail, because apparently like when they travel overseas, or they can just request security detail whenever they want. So I thought of all like convoluted ways to tie it into Salerno, that now she needs protection because they threatened her life or something. But I thought, that again, that goes away with from the whole point of the story. But to make Holly feel a little bit more like, wow, someone, all this time has paid off. Someone is asking for me. This is a big deal. It's not just, a different job. It's something where I am being recognized for what I've done. And so I thought that would give her a little more oomph to go do it, to go take the job, and B, it would be a little more realistic for the story and for the audience that, oh my gosh, the Supreme Court justice wants her. I wonder what's going to happen when she goes there and something happens. So it maybe made it a little more plausible that she actually would accept this. Having said that, we all know that she's not. But so as you're listening to me, hopefully you're also reading along, and you can see that I'm trying to update the script to reflect this. Having said that, I didn't want to just jump in and say, hey, you've been offered security detail by the Supreme Court justice. So I wanted to let her down first and then have the twist come, kind of the inciting incident catalyst, when she finds out what is happening. So I played at the end of this scene here on page 4, I played with, do we want to leave her in a good space, thinking optimistically that yes, something good's going to happen? Because that's pretty much how it was before. And then the twist was the time got moved up, but I didn't think, you know, when you have time and time and time and time to think and go over stuff, I realized that maybe it needed to be a little more higher stakes, a little more something than that. So you see here, I'm playing around with, she thought she might get this one job, whatever Briggs. It came down to you and Briggs. I'm sorry. So we know that she didn't get it. And then Paul says, I still have a few irons in the fire. Is one of these a Supreme Court thing? We don't know. But as he says, I don't want to jinx anything. Yeah, 2 years late. I don't know if I kept all of this dialogue, but yeah, I think you get where I'm going here, is that you know, you always want to leave people in a different spot in a scene than where you found them. Either, you know, they're a winner and then they turn into a loser, or they're happy, sad, mad, glad. I don't know if I've mentioned that. I heard that on a Film Courage. I think it was a Film Courage YouTube, where the four emotions, happy, sad, mad, glad. I think those were it. Yeah, that it really boils down to that. So if you start a scene one way, you should end it another. And that doesn't just go for like Holly, but it would go for potentially everyone in the scene, although obviously that can get a little bit tricky. So yeah, I'm going through here, and some of this tweaking is because of that. Some of it may not be, because sometimes you go back to fix one thing and then you end up fixing another, not because you have to, but because you just see it. Wow, so that day wasn't very long either. But yeah, this is a pretty big change on day 62 of a screenwriter's journey. And this will definitely have a ripple or ramification effect on some parts of the script. Well, let's go on the journey together. Let's continue it together. And by that, I mean, I'll see you tomorrow on a screenwriter's journey.